Genesis chapter 2 and 3 about Adam and Eve. But I'm going to start out with the creation, the second creation story, because there's apparently two. And people are like, this contradicts whatever. And I like this story too because it's a little different than the original. So here we go. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden. And there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, from thence it was parted, and became into four heads, also known as four rivers. I'm reading a King James version. The name of the first is the Pison, or the Pishon, I'm not sure, the Pishon, in the NIV version. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium or bdellium and onyx and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is the Gihon. The same is that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is the Hiddekel. In the other version, NIV version, they call it the Tigris. That is it which goes toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. And the Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to dress it and keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat. As stated before the fall. Okay. Apparently we were vegetarians back then. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it. For in the day you eat of it, therefore you shall surely die. God's foresight for man. And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him help meet for him. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all the cattle, to the fowl of the air, to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was no suitable help. For Adam there was not found a help meet for him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. And he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man made he a woman. And he brought her unto the man, the first marriage union. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. The state of innocence. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. The fall of man. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. But remember, before the fall, it was a good subtle. Most people would say that the snake is Satan. Well, my brother's theory is that Satan put himself in the snake and became a tooth. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. I like his better. But people would say that Satan disguised himself as a serpent. And he said unto the woman, Yes, as God said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden, God has said, You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said to the woman, You shall not surely die. For God knows, for God does know, that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Or you shall be Elohim in the Hebrew translation. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, she took the fruit. She saw the fruit pleasant to the eyes, and the tree. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband, and he did eat. So there are they call it 3 different sins for this one, and they said she saw the tree that was good for food, so that would be considered the lust of the eyes, and then and it was pleasant to the eyes, lust of the flesh, and to make a tree that would make one wise would sounds like and that's considered pride of life. So anyways, we're continuing. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, made themselves aprons, and heard a voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where are you? And Adam said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told you you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree where I commanded you that you should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom you gave to me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. So this is blaming God in a sense, because God created Adam and God created Eve. So when you blame someone, you're blaming God because God created them. Kind of scary, I really hope. But when you take the blame on yourself, but then again, so, and the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that you've done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me. You don't hear that word anymore. Beguiled. And I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat the days of your life. I will put enmity or animosity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over you. And unto Adam he said, Because you have hearkened unto the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, You shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake, and sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field, of the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return to the ground. For out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and unto you dust you shall return. Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skin, and clothe them. Expulsion from the garden. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. He put forth his hand and take it up. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore the Lord sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to the ground from whence he was taken. So he, God, drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Okay, so I read those whole passages, and I want pretty much this is instead of me telling you, I want you to interpret it for yourself, and I hope you enjoyed that because I enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed my little random sense of humor and my random words that I brought up. Enjoy your day. God bless you. And I'll try another video making an interpretation or a bunch of different interpretations because there's so much I can get out of this, but that's just me. Alright, God bless you. Take care.